There is a moment in your life when you realize that the problem is not your intelligence, it's your method. It's not that your brain is weak, it's not that you can't learn, it's that nobody ever showed you the right way to unlock what is already inside your mind. And once you see it, once you feel it, you will never look at learning, thinking, or your own potential the same way again. Most people spend their entire lives believing that smart people are born, not made. They think genius is some magical gift that only a few lucky people receive. They assume their brain has limits, that their memory is bad, that they're just not good at studying, or not good at thinking deeply. That belief quietly steals their power every single day. But what if I told you that the most powerful minds in history didn't rely on talent? They relied on a simple method, a way of thinking so clear, so direct, and so raw that it transformed confusion into clarity, fear into confidence, and complexity into something beautifully simple. Imagine this: you sit down to learn something new, it feels hard, your brain feels foggy, you feel slow, your confidence drops, you tell yourself, this is too complicated for me. That is where most people quit. But the truth is, that struggle you feel, that's not a wall, that's a doorway, and the secret is learning how to walk through it without fear. The so-called shocking secret isn't magic, it isn't mystical. It's brutally honest. It's this: you don't truly understand something until you can explain it in simple words. That's it. That's the key. When you force your brain to simplify ideas, your brain rewires itself. New pathways form, memory becomes stronger, focus becomes sharper, confidence begins to grow. Think about how children learn. They ask why 100 times. They don't pretend to understand. They don't hide confusion. They're curious, they're fearless. They don't care about looking stupid. They care about understanding. That's the mindset that changes everything, not pretending to be smart, but being brave enough to admit what you don't know. Picture your brain like a dark room. Most people walk in that room and trip over everything because they never turn on the light. They memorize facts, they repeat words, they pretend they understand. But the room stays dark. The method changes that. The method forces you to switch the light on. Suddenly you see the furniture, you see the walls, you see the door, you can move freely. When you explain a concept in simple language, your brain is forced to organize the mess. It must clean up confusion, it must connect ideas, it must remove fake knowledge, and in that process your brain becomes stronger, smarter, sharper. You don't just store information, you own it. Think of your mind like a muscle. When you lift a light weight, nothing changes. But when you lift a challenging weight, tiny tears happen in the muscle, and when it heals, it grows stronger. Mental struggle works the same way. When learning feels uncomfortable, your brain is growing. Not when it feels easy, not when you're just scrolling or memorizing. Growth lives inside effort. Most people run from mental discomfort, they escape it. They distract themselves, they scroll, they switch topics, they give up. But the ones who unlock real brain power lean into that discomfort. They sit with it, they wrestle with it, they simplify it. That's where real intelligence is built. You don't need to be born gifted. You don't need a perfect memory. You don't need a high IQ. What you need is courage, the courage to say, I don't understand this yet, but I will. And when you approach learning like that, everything starts to change. You stop being intimidated by complex ideas. You stop fearing difficult subjects. You start breaking things down naturally. You start asking better questions. You start thinking like a problem solver instead of a victim of confusion. Your brain loves challenges. It's designed to solve problems, but it shuts down when it feels overwhelmed. This method tricks your brain in the best way possible. It says, we're not going to understand everything at once. We're just going to understand this one small piece, and then another, and then another, and before you know it, the impossible becomes possible. You stop saying, I can't learn this. You start saying, let me simplify this, and that small shift, that tiny mental shift, starts a chain reaction that transforms your life. Every time you force yourself to explain something simply, you upgrade your brain, you upgrade your confidence, you upgrade your identity. You stop seeing yourself as average and start seeing yourself as capable. And something magical happens. Your mind becomes calm because confusion creates anxiety, but clarity creates peace. When you understand things deeply, fear loses its power. doubt becomes quiet. You start trusting yourself more. This method doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you stronger. Stronger against fear, stronger against pressure, stronger against self-doubt. You don't need to fake confidence when you truly understand. Now imagine applying this to your life, to your goals, to your dreams, to your future. What if every challenge you faced wasn't a threat but a puzzle? What if every complex problem was just something waiting to be broken down and understood? The world is full of people who copy, who memorize, who repeat. But the world is shaped by people who understand. People who can take something complicated and make it simple. Those are the leaders. Those are the innovators. Those are the ones who change history. Your brain is not slow. It's not weak. It's not broken. It's just waiting for you to use it the right way. And once you start using it this way, you won't recognize the person you used to be. You'll notice you think more clearly. You speak more confidently. You learn faster. You remember more. Not because you became a genius overnight, but because you finally learned how to think properly. And the most powerful part, this method doesn't end in books. It doesn't end in classrooms. It follows you everywhere in your career, in your relationships, in your decisions. You stop reacting to life blindly. You start responding with clarity. You stop fearing failure because failure becomes feedback, a signal of what you don't understand yet, and yet becomes your favorite word because yet means growth is coming. Every master was once a beginner. Every genius was once confused. The only difference is they didn't hide from confusion. They faced it. They simplified it. They mastered it. Your mind is a tool, a weapon, a superpower, but only if you use it properly. Most people let it rust. They never push it. They never test it. They never unlock it. But you can be different. You can choose to become someone who doesn't run from difficulty, but walks straight into it with curiosity. Someone who doesn't fear complexity but breaks it down. Someone who doesn't say, "I'm not smart enough," but says, "I'm learning how to think better." The shocking part isn't that this method exists. The shocking part is how simple it is, and how few people use it. They're too busy trying to look smart instead of trying to become smart. But you're not here to impress people. You're here to improve yourself. You're here to awaken your brain. You're here to unlock what most people never will. Your brain grows when you struggle. Your confidence grows when you simplify. Your power grows when you persist. This is not just about learning physics, math, or science. This is about mastering your life, mastering your thinking, mastering your inner world. When you can explain things simply, you can solve problems calmly, you can handle pressure, you can make better decisions. You can lead. One simple rule changes everything. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it deeply enough, and instead of feeling ashamed of that, you feel empowered, you feel excited to go deeper, to clean up confusion, to sharpen your thoughts. And once you truly understand something, nobody can take that power from you. Knowledge memorized can be forgotten. Knowledge understood becomes part of you. This is how you unlock brain power, not with hacks, not with tricks, but with brutal honesty about what you know and what you don't. You don't build a strong mind by pretending. You build it by practicing clarity again and again and again. Every single day, you have a choice. You can stay in the dark room and keep tripping over furniture, or you can turn on the light. It takes effort. It takes humility. It takes patience, but it changes everything. This is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about falling in love with the process of understanding. You were not born to be confused forever. You were not born to feel small. You were not born to doubt your mind. You were born with a brain capable of incredible things, decisions, creations, ideas, solutions, but that power only awakens when you stop running from confusion and start breaking things down. And once you experience that power, once you feel your mind getting stronger, you'll realize something incredible. You were never limited. You were just waiting for the right method, and now you have it.